What's up guys, Ronaldo here and welcome. As you guys can see already in the title, it is time for some Gear 8 4 prep and some Laseer versus Artemis showcase, because these two bad boys are super good anti-healers and that's what you will need for Gear 8 4, and these two will help you amazingly. And after this video you will see, while these two guys do have the same job, that is dealing some damage and also applying anti-heal, they still do it really differently and are completely different units, even though they have the same job. And you are going to probably also apply different strategies depending on which out of these two you're going to use for the anti-healing. And in the end I will tell you what I would suggest for either of these to be used for Gear 8 4 as well. But first we will go take a look at how much damage do they do in comparison, how much does Artemis do in comparison to Laseer, and how much regen does Laseer have compared to Artemis. As you can see, Artemis has a higher cost on his ultimate, but he has some rage regen here. And on top of that, we're also going to evaluate, I'm going to showcase you how really strong, how amazing the healing is from Artemis, and show you exactly that also in Gear 8 1. And this is going to help you all in Gear 8 4 a lot as well, the healing, because you will need some good healing in Gear 8 4. And of course we're going to take a look at the anti-healing duration, about the ult uptiming, the damage, and the healing from Artemis as well. Just a few different topics I want to go over with you guys and showcase you these two in comparison and really how different they are, even though they are pretty much cut for the same job, and they're both amazing for Gear 8 4. In terms of the damaging aspects, we already know that Laseer has a huge advantage over Artemis, simply because Artemis may bring you some more utility, right? Artemis brings you anti-healing, damage, and healing, while Laseer brings you damage, anti-healing, and some CC as well. But the healing from Artemis is more valuable than the CC from Laseer. But Laseer's damage is simply higher already because he is a mage and he's allowed to use that tier of Twilight right here. Whereas Artemis can't here. He's gonna use something like this, or maybe like this, or even for this showcase I'm going to use a Keen of Wisdom to boost his attack damage up, to see how much damage he can get out. And then in terms of damage, of course, Laseer's damage will ramp up because his damage comes from his ultimate. You're going to use the Soulbound Arcana mainly, whereas for the Artemis, the Infernal Roar works well. And now first up, let's take a look here at Artemis versus Laseer in terms of their damage potential against the first wave. Just one quick window, how much damage these bad boys can do. And then there's also two other things I really want to showcase you as well. So we're going to place down our units here. There we go. Let's wait for Artemis. And now we want the Invic buff on Artemis as well before we place him down. So we want it to be fair, right? So there is our Invic buff for Artemis. And now it's time to pop our ultimates. And as you can see here, of course, Laseer's ultimate is just one big nuke, whereas Artemis just keeps on hitting and hitting and hitting. And now the ultimate is gone, and let's take a look here at the damage. Alright, so as you can see here, Artemis does quite significant damage for a healer. But of course Laseer does more damage. He has a big burst with his ult. And on top of that, Laseer has the ability to actually get his damage even further up because he runs the Soulbound Arcana, right? So this is just a 10 out of 15% bonus damage that he gets. And so Laseer of course has more damage than Artemis. But there's something really interesting I want to showcase you guys with Artemis that I wasn't able to do with anyone else than Artemis. And that is, I want to showcase you real quick how amazing Artemis's healing ability really is. So we're going to place down our boy here, followed by Artemis, followed by her, And then Laseer again. There we go. Got all the ults. Now we're gonna use her. And I just want you guys to take a look here. 30k healings from Artemis here onto our boy Abomination. He just keeps Abomination alive by his own, on his own. Like the healing is not 16k healing. Like the healing is absolutely vile. This amount of healing is so crazy. It's so valuable. It's so valuable to have such strong heals from Artemis. At first, when he came out, I thought, oh, maybe his heals are gonna be decent because he does a different job as well. But his heals are significant. It's just crazy how much he can heal. And then the third thing I want to go over and showcase you guys is the rage, the uptime. All right. So to get Artemis's rage back, we will have to place one ground unit so he can consistently heal someone and attack someone, so he will be able to regen rage all the time, of course, whereas Laseer doesn't need that because he can just hit enemies all the time and get his rage up this way, right? So Laseer will have his rage up here, and now I want you to take a closer look here at something, and that is that right here. Because Laseer's ultimate is just a big giant nuke, whereas Artemis's ultimate is over a certain duration, you can clearly see that Laseer already is at 350 rage when Artemis just finishes his ultimate, right? Which basically makes it possible for Laseer to just immediately get his rage back up after his ult, where Artemis just doesn't get rage automatically, like passive rage, until his ult is finished. Unless, of course, you have someone down like Eloin, he gets some bonus rage or a holo or a Leia. But even then, Laseer's ultimate, as you were able to see, or as you're able to see right here, is still a lot faster than Artemis's, and that even though Artemis has this extra rage in his passive. If we take a look here, and when we're finished here, there we go, Laseer is ready, whereas Artemis is at 67%, so quite a significant difference here in terms of rage. Alright guys, so now that we know that Artemis has the amazing healing on his side, which is gonna be big for Gear 8-4, trust me, and Laseer has more damage and a lower ult uptime, we can make a bit of a conclusion here who of the two will be better for Gear 8-4 in what scenario. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, and that is both of these will be amazing, and it mainly depends on what your team needs, what your lineup is, right? Because Laseer doesn't have as long of an anti-healing duration as Artemis, as we all know, huh? Artemis anti-healing is 20-second ult duration plus 3-second anti-heal duration when he gets his last audit off. Is going to be around 23 seconds, whereas Laseer's is only 15 seconds, but he deals more damage and has a bigger nuke. So with Laseer you want to run a nuke comp, but this way you won't have a proper healer, and if you want to use a nuke comp, Constance will be really good for Laseer as well. So she can boost him up, and she can boost the fighter up as well on top of that, or someone else, just to get more damage out. Whereas Artemis, he's a bit different. He doesn't deal as much damage, but he gives you more time to deal damage because his anti-healing is longer. And on top of that, he has the big advantage, of course, that he also heals on top of that, right? So he not only provides longer anti-healing, but also heals and gives your team a longer time, which means that you can also use Artemis with someone of the likes of a Valk, for example. This is just theory crafting. I used Artemis and Valk in Gear 8-4 on the test server. I used Laseer also on the test server. The reason why I'm not showing it on the test server right now is because Gear 8-4 is closed. It's closed on the test server for now, so I can't really show you, so you just have to take my word here. But Artemis basically and can be used just to be like, okay, I will stall time for someone like a Valk to get the job done for me, right? Or for another mage to get the job done for me. Whereas Laseer will already get a lot of the job done by himself already, which is amazing. But he won't heal. So both of these, honestly, both of these guys are going to be amazing. Now you guys saw a bit of their strengths compared to one another, but you also saw they're completely different units, right? They have the same purpose, but they do it way differently, which is what I love. I love Laseer, I love Artemis. The more I played with them around the last few days, ever since I got them. And yeah, Artemis, amazing design, like really balanced design, just the perfect unit, you know, extremely strong in certain scenarios, but not universal. That's exactly what you want for a unit, and same goes for Laseer as well. Yeah, this is a bit of a showcase for you guys of the two anti-healers. In general, both of these guys will be extremely viable for Gear 8-4. And what I can tell you in terms of a ranking, who's better, who's not, there is no such thing as who's better out of these two, because it solely depends on what units you're working on, right? And it would be just speculation if I would say now, oh, Artemis is better, because his rage is quite high, right? His rage is on 1000 maxed up. So yeah, it really depends on what kind of units you have, what kind of units you're working with, and then depending on the units, maybe a Laseer will be better for you, or an Artemis. But what I can tell you from testing them and just playing around with them is, and also from my testing on the Gear 8-4, is that both of these guys will be a blessing, yeah, a blessing to your account. If you pulled for Hudson and you got Artemis, you'll be like, wow, he's amazing once Gear 8-4 drops. If you got Laseer and you're end game, and you were like, oh, I already beat Gear 8-1, stage 21, I don't need him. Once Gear 8-4 drops, you'll be like, wow, he's amazing. Other than that, I hope you all had a wonderful day and enjoyed this bit of a showcase video, a bit of a comparison video between the two guys, between the two anti-healers of Laseer and Artemis. Of course, I didn't include Boreas in this because it doesn't make sense to put in nuker like Boreas into something like this, where it's mainly about the anti-healing, and to put someone like Demi in this, because Demi is a legendary lord, right? But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited for Gear 8-4? I am, and I'm Ronaldo. Stay tuned, and I'm out. Peace.